am on my way into, well, I'm already in Kerr County. I just passed Comfort. I'm on my way into Center Point. I'm volunteering this morning with the Center Point Volunteer Fire Department. I just went through a really long line of traffic and cars. There are already people assembled here. They start pretty much at first light, uh, walking the riverbanks, and that's what I'm going to be doing this morning, hopefully, unless I get placed somewhere else or um, they ask me to go somewhere else. Pretty much wherever they need me is what I'm doing. I've got my, I learned my lesson yesterday. I've got more tools with me today because yesterday they were asking me to blow up floorboards, and basically all I had was a shovel and a crook. And so that was really difficult work to even try to make progress that way. But I've got some more tools with me today, and President Trump is in the area. So it is, or he's supposed to visit the area today. So I'm assuming that's probably why it's more crowded today than it has been the past few days that I've been here. But I just wanted to check in and just share some thoughts with you this morning. It is really sad to think about all of the lives that have been lost. I don't think there's a single person in this area who's been unaffected by this. I spoke with some people yesterday who hadn't lost loved ones, but they had lost jobs or property or both, cars, and they were sitting waiting for insurance adjusters to come and tell them what could be done to help them out. And a lot of these people, again, without vehicles because their cars washed away. And so I was hoping today to be able to deliver supplies to some people as well, but I got asked to do this other work instead, walking the riverbank. So we'll just have to see what the day ends up looking like. I'm looking around though, and the skies are very cloudy. Behind me, there's sunshine, but ahead, it is very, very cloudy. I checked the weather forecast. We're not supposed to get any more rain, but that's always a concern when the ground is already so saturated. They've had 3 flash flood warnings in the last week here. And so obviously the first one was on the 4th of July, which was a week ago today. And they've had 2 since then. So it's always a concern in this part of Texas. And even when there's not rain in the forecast, sometimes we end up getting some that surprises us a little bit. It's sort of this unique phenomenon where we have, warm air coming up from the Gulf of Mexico and cold air coming in from the north. And it's just Texas. That's where we get these famous Texas thunderstorms that people talk about. So I'm watching the skies. I'm just making sure I'm going to obviously stay safe. I'm very aware of what things look like. I've lived here now for 30 years. I can't believe it's been 30 years that I've lived here. I guess it's funny. My dad grew up all over the place because his dad was a colonel in the Air Force. So they lived in England and Japan and all over the place. They only lived in Texas for 4 years, but he always told people he was from Texas. And I think that's because, his dad was born here. A lot of his family is from Texas and has been in Texas. But it's just funny that I ended up here because I never really thought that I would. And when I moved here 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, I never thought that I was going to stay for this long. And it's just interesting. I love it here. When I first moved down here, I was thinking it was going to be scrub brush and tumbleweeds. And that definitely does exist, but it's more up in the panhandle of West Texas than it is down here. The hill country is just beautiful. And I tried a couple of times to take some video as I'm traveling back and forth. And I had my daughter with me yesterday taking some video for me, but it just doesn't do it justice. And obviously, when I'm driving, it's not safe to do that anyway. So I wish that I could show you guys how beautiful this area is. It really is just rolling green hills, live oak trees, limestone rock. And what's interesting is that Kerrville and this whole area sits way down in a valley, obviously. And yesterday, when I was up in Ingram, I had to come home. As I was coming home, I came into Kerrville from the north rather than from the south, as I usually do. And I was realizing just how high up those other towns are, and how down low in the valley Kerrville is. I've always thought of Kerrville as up higher, but coming in yesterday, literally coming down into Kerrville, it was just very apparent how much lower it is. So those are some of the circumstances that created this disaster. But I'll tell you what's amazing. What's been amazing is you, my channel members, and other subscribers who have donated so much money to gift cards, and the people who receive them are so incredibly grateful that people care enough to get them what they need. It feels like a very personal connection to them. And the person at Southern Oaks Baptist, whenever I hand her the gift cards, she's just overwhelmed with gratitude that my tiny little YouTube channel cares so much about the people in this community. So I want to say thank you for that. The other thing that is awesome to see is, just behind me, there's a line of cars, probably 5 or 6 cars. One of them has a rooftop carrier on it. They're from obviously someplace else bringing supplies in. The rest are trucks with trailers. People are coming in and bringing their work equipment. Yesterday, I passed on the highway 3 huge excavators that were coming in from out of state. And it's just amazing to see so many people come together to help this community and to be here in their darkest time. The other thing that strikes me every time that I come through here is I look at all of these houses as I'm driving past, and some of them obviously were completely unaffected. Some of them, they're up in a higher place, or they're just in an area where they wouldn't get flooding because they're away from the river. And just to see the devastation of some places compared with those people who didn't lose anything, it's very stark. And as I was driving through Comfort earlier, I saw a guy just jogging down the street. It's like life is just normal for that person, and good for him. I'm grateful, but it's like so many people are waking up this morning for the seventh day in a row to devastation and heartbreak and loss. And, there are other people who obviously have been affected, but they're waking up in their own home, in their own bed this morning. So I'm feeling grateful that I'm one of those. And that's, I guess, one of the reasons why I feel compelled to come out here and help, is because I get to every night go home and take a hot shower and have a good meal and sleep in my own bed and hug my children. And there just are so many people who can't do that. So I appreciate you supporting me being able to do this work for these people who need it so much. And I will definitely keep you posted and check in with you a little bit later. And I'm realizing right now that I don't know which button to push to end this live. And I'm driving, so I'm probably going to just pull over here in a second so that I can be safe and um and end the live safely. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for caring about this community. Thank you for continuing to get the word out about what people need, because that, I think, is the most important thing. I've got a car full of supplies to deliver today, and so it makes me feel good to be able to get people what they need during this time. Again, just thank you for everything that you're doing to support me. and I'll talk in really soon.